Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final few throws of the dice for the 2022 Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup here at Circuito Karting Campillos. It's time to get our first of 5 finals underway, and it's Minimax up first. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Albert Friend starts from pole position, having taken victories in all 3 heats yesterday and winning the pre-final earlier on this morning. Boris Maximov from the Netherlands will join the 191 from the United Kingdom alongside on the front row. Nicolas Garcia Diaz has been in the mix and will start from P3, and alongside will be the 134 of the UK's Max Cuthbert. Nikita Nikishov and Rory Armstrong ran up the top 3 rows. Jagrat de Troya and Tom Strele round out the top 8 positions, with Nikita Zhubimov from Estonia and Marcel Zebo from Hungary rounding out the top 10. Kasper Nissen from Denmark starts 11th ahead of Ivan Gonzalez Elul from Spain, ahead and in front of countryman Jeremy Roivers. Morocco's Ryan Bourguignon starts 14th ahead of the UK's Jaden Sherwood, who completes the top 15 drivers as they go on to the formation lap. Jensen Chalk starts 16th, Felipe Reis just behind, representing the Netherlands, ahead of Bruno Greiling, Marius Karsiaukas, Hugo Fuentes Luque, and then Enzo Riccio, Adrian Tions, Alex Menezes, and 24th is the 117 of Christian Stefanov. It all comes down to one moment where you push right to the limit, and sometimes even that little bit beyond. Because at the end of each final, the winner is the winner of the event. The heats got us through to the pre-finals, deciding grids for that. And then now we have the big one. This is for all the marbles. And the opportunity to go onto the top step. Now, the skies have cleared, the sunshine abundant, and the racers ready to get going. So 12 rows of drivers, 24 competitors, 11 minutes plus an additional lap. Here we go into the tram lines, revs rise. We are lights out and underway. Who's going to get to turn 1 first? At the moment, it looks like it could be Albert Friend, but Boris Maximov keeping it pinned to the outside, and he drifts wide. That's going to drop the Dutch driver to 6th position as they hurtle their way up the hill for the very first time. 2, 3 wide at points, but Albert Friend has stolen a march on the rest of the opposition, whilst they're all squabbling for track position right now, and some bumping over the curbs, going into the triple right complex that leads them over the crest of the hill and down the dip. Down through the left-hander, it's Albert Friend leading, Nicolas Garcia Diaz and Nikita Nikishov rounding out the top 3 positions. 4th, it's Max Cuthbert. 5th, it's Rory Armstrong, as we head onto the back straightaway for the first time of asking. Marcel Zebo up to 9th, ahead of Nikita Zhubimov. Ryan Bourguignon up to 13th. Enzo Riccio up to 20th, and Alex Menezes up to 22nd as we come across the line to complete lap number 1. Friend leads, Garcia in 2nd, Nikishov, Cuthbert, Maximov, and Armstrong rounding out the top 6. Kasper Nissen from Denmark now up into 10th position. And there's Rory Armstrong trying to close in onto Boris Maximov from the Netherlands. Already just over 90 seconds of this race has elapsed. But Albert Friend has been in commanding form all weekend, but Nicolas Garcia Diaz is looking to turn the form books upside down and shake it all around like a sand timer before you put it back down on the table. But Albert Friend has got about a 3-kart length lead heading into the second from last corner. As there is a move and a change for 3rd position. I think Max Cuthbert has just gotten through past Nikita Nikishov, and that is the case. Nikishov down to 4th. Maximov and Armstrong in the tow. Down the straight. Main straightaway and a little bit further back. Troya, well, it could be Strela looking up the inside of the Troya as they were going into turn 1. Nikishov and Maximov trying to force Cuthbert to one side. Cuthbert stays resolute, but Rory Armstrong, what a perler from the youngster from County Down in Northern Ireland, gets through on the inside at the crest of the hill on Boris Maximov to take the position. Neatly done by the youngster in the 166. Now into the tight left-hander, down the straightaway in the middle of the track, into the left-hand hairpin. And Nikishov trying one way, then the other, trying to get past Max Cuthbert, but the Brit is staying resolute and staying in front at the moment. But it is a battle at the front of the field. Albert Friend versus Nicolas Garcia Diaz. Pair quite literally unseparated right now. The gap was just over a tenth last time. It's now 0.2 and climbing ever so slightly. And Albert Friend has shown over the course of this race meeting that he can get to the front and manage it, control the pace, let his racing do the talking. Over the crest they go once again and down the dip, down the hill. Steep descent and elevation change. As Armstrong now having to try and fight back past Boris Maximov once again in the 130 from the Netherlands. Through into the left-hand hairpin. Now into the double right that leads them onto the back straightaway. 6 minutes, 43 seconds plus an additional lap still to go. Nothing has quite been decided yet. Other drivers that have been making some moves up the order. Jensen Chalk now up to 13th. Jagrat de Troya and Marcel Zibo up to 7th and 8th respectively as we come across the line to start lap number 5. Zhubimov and Nissen now round out the top 10. Estrella from Latvia drops out of it. Jaden Sherwood's made his way up into 17th. There's a move on Nikita Nikishov by Boris Maximov, and that is for position. That's for 4th place on the road. And Armstrong is going to try and use a little bit of slipstream, a little bit of extra velocity and assistance from the tow that is provided. And he could get a double tow here if he's close enough. But at the front of the field, Albert Friend is still controlling proceedings and has done so from lights out. We're halfway through the race, 50% left to go, plus an additional lap. Garcia Diaz has been there or thereabouts. And Albert Friend is just waiting to see what the Spaniard has in the box of magic tricks over the next 5.25 minutes. Gap now down to 0.163 of a second. Garcia Diaz was a tenth quicker last time around and set the fastest lap of the race, so 1 minute 8.263. And Marcel Zibo has got past Jagrat de Troya from India. Zhubimov and Nissen still round out the top 10. Armstrong trying to close in on Nikishov to try and get past for 5th position. But in the meantime, that is not quite happening. Or run wide there from Albert Friend coming out of the left-hander. And Garcia Diaz had a great run of momentum coming through that left-hander onto the straightaway in the middle part of the circuit. And at the moment, Boris Maximov looks to be one of the fastest out there in the first sector. Coming through into sector number 2, that is Albert Friend, 28.6. So 4 minutes plus an additional lap. The battle between the 134 of Max Cuthbert and now the 130. Boris Maximov back up into 3rd position and is charging. Albert Friend sets the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 8.256. That is 8 1,000ths quicker than the previous fastest lap set by Nicolas Garcia-Diaz on the previous lap. Gap between the pair now 0.2 of a second. Coming down to the last 3.5 minutes. And Maximov and Cuthbert battling away over the final step of the rostrum. Whilst the leaders still about 2 to 3 kart lengths apart. It's not even that between Cuthbert in 4th and Maximov in 3rd place. So this battle, the 2 battles, could actually go right down to the wire. We have seen it before here at Karting Campos, and we've seen it quite a few times over the past couple of days, where drivers have used the slingshot momentum out of the final corner to do the old fast and furious quarter-mile drag strip challenge out of it to cross the line and pip somebody by thousandths of a second. Rory Armstrong really fighting now, and that is with Nikita Nikishov as the 166 has gotten through, and that's for 5th position. Gap has now started to increase between Albert Friend and Nicolas Garcia-Diaz, to the tune of nearly 0.3 of a second. It was nearly a tenth between the pair, with Friend faster on that previous lap. We're on to lap number 8 of this race. It's a little bit tidier. The last couple of laps, Albert Friend has come out of that corner that comes down the hill and has run a little bit wider in comparison with Garcia-Diaz. Rory Armstrong keeping it pinned, staying ahead of Nikita Nikishov. Other drivers making moves. Tom Strehler from Latvia up into 10th position, as is an almighty battle royale of Minimax drivers. I would probably say that's outside of the top 10. But the leaders very close to one another. Garcia in the tow. Up the hill they go once again through turn 1. 68 thousandths was the amount of time that separated them on that previous lap. And Garcia-Diaz again goes and gets the fastest lap back. 1 minute 8.207 as we head into the last 90 minutes. Now this is the time where Garcia-Diaz needs to start pushing harder, because we're coming into the final 75 seconds, and then there's an additional lap on top of that one. We're on lap number 9, through into the hairpin, both holding station. No one putting all their cards on the table quite yet as they go through the double right that leads them onto the back straightaway. 60 seconds remain. And Albert Friend is driving very, very well indeed. And Garcia-Diaz is wanting to be where Albert Friend is right now. It's line astern again. They cross the line once more. 0.125 separates them. A little bit further back. Some great battling here, as we've got Marcel Zebo's sprung a surprise and has gotten past Rory Armstrong, and in the meantime so has Nikita Nikishov. 30 seconds on the clock. We have got one driver, unfortunately, to the side, and that might be Alex Menezes. The leaders now making their way down to the bottom of the hill. What will be the penultimate time? And Albert Friend runs really wide. Garcia-Diaz waits, bides time as the timer hits 0. After this, we go on to the 11th and final lap of the Minimax final here for the 2022 Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup. Albert Friend looks over his left shoulder, heads down to the second from last corner, turns it in, neatly on the apex, powers out of it. And now Garcia-Diaz looks up the inside. The Spaniard goes for the lead and gets it as we head on to the final lap. Albert Friend trying to get the tow. Last lap board is out. Garcia-Diaz leads the pair going up the hill into turn 1, but Albert Friend looks to the inside, has to back out of the approach. And now Albert Friend swings wide to carry the momentum through, hits the curves, now towards the inside, and he's going towards the outside as they head towards the crest of the hill. Albert Friend pulls round to the outside, and he does a perfect switchback at the top of the hill to retake the lead. Epic stuff from these two drivers. Epic stuff. So now these drivers are coming through into the hairpin for the final time. Battle between Max Cuthbert and Boaz Maximov for the final step on the rostrum, but it's going to come down to the final couple of corners. How's it going to pan out? We're going to find out right now. Albert Friend looks over his left shoulder. Garcia Diaz right in the toe, heading into the braking zone. They're side by side. The switchback happens, but Albert Friend keeps it pinned on the inside line for the next corner. Out of the final turn, it's going to be a drag race to the finish. Albert Friend, he's going to cross the line, and it's by milliseconds. 46 thousandths, and Albert Friend wins the 2022 Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup ahead of Nicolas Garcia Diaz. Wow, what a titanic final two-lap battle between these two. Albert Friend started celebrating, and now it sinks in. Now it sinks in. And he's booked himself a place on the Euro Trophy for 3 rounds this season. Well done, young man. Brilliantly driven. Absolutely epic. You know what? Not a bad consolation prize for Nicolas Garcia Diaz, who now will take an opportunity to go to the 2022 Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy at Le Mans in the last week of July. But Albert Friend, by the narrowest of margins, 46 thousandths, takes the victory ahead of Nicolas Garcia Diaz. Boris Maximov provisionally takes the final step on the rostrum in third ahead of Nikita Nikishov, Marcel Zibo, Nikita Zhubimov rounding out the top 6, Jagrat de Troya rounding out the top 7 ahead of Kasper Nissen, Tom Strehler, Rory Armstrong, Jeremy Roivers, Felipe Reis, Jaden Sherwood finishing 13th in his first final outside of the United Kingdom ahead of Morocco's Ryan Bourguignon, Ivan Gonzalez Elul, Christian Stefanov, Enzo Riccio from Finland, Hugo Fuentes, Bruno Grelling, Marius Karsiaukas, Jensen Schork, Adrian Tions, and unfortunately Max Cuthbert finished in 23rd position with Alex Menezes, unfortunately retiring on lap number 8.